Hanoi orders closure of street-side stalls and religious sites. Airlines asked to refuse violators of pandemic control regulations. Online gold trading expected for God of Wealth Day. Vietnam among top 3 leading nations in renewable energy shift in Asia Pacific. Hello, this is FBNC News. Now, the capital city of Hanoi has ordered the closure of street-side stalls, monuments, temples, and pagodas from February 16th to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The new developments of the COVID-19 pandemic in Hanoi, with the source of infection of the dead Japanese man yet to be identified, his travel history causing difficulties for tracing, pose high risks for the community. Hanoi authorities ordered relevant districts and townships to concentrate on tracing, zoning, and mass testing to stop the spread of the pandemic, along with the dissemination of preventive information through mass media. Local pharmacies and private health facilities have been asked to report suspected cases. Hải Dương province implemented social distancing throughout the province from February 16th, and provincial police coordinated with concerned authorities to set up 170 pandemic control stations all over the province. The stations are responsible for controlling people and vehicles, measuring body temperature, reminding and handling cases of not strictly complying with pandemic prevention regulations. The Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam CAAV has asked airlines to refuse serving passengers who fail to fill in health declarations and follow pandemic prevention and control regulations. In a dispatch sent to units, the CAAV General Director asked units to remind the staff and passengers to seriously follow 5K requirements, including wearing masks, disinfection, no gathering, keeping distance, and health declaration. They were also required to install COVID-19 tracing app Blue Zone to help authorities promptly discover infection cases. Airline staff who directly contact with passengers must wear face shields and test for SARS-CoV-2 regularly to ensure they are negative to the virus before going to work. Airports and airlines were assigned to continue reviewing current prevention and control measures and seriously following quarantine rules for crew members as guided by the Health Ministry. Testing will be conducted randomly on passengers aboard flights from Hanoi, Quảng Ninh, and Hải Phòng to Tân Sơn Nhất International Airport by the local health sector, as a large number is returning the city after the Tết holidays, Vietnam Airlines noted. Passengers are required to wear face masks throughout the flights, make health declarations, and have their body temperatures measured before boarding. Airplanes from Hanoi will be sprayed with disinfectants meeting international standards right after landing at airports in Da Nang and Ho Chi Minh City. Other safety measures will also be adopted on all domestic flights of Vietnam Airlines. The U.S. ambassador to Vietnam released a rap record last week to bring in the Lunar New Year. Dan Brink, who has served as ambassador for over 3 years now, starred alongside Vietnamese rapper Vows in a music video where they roam the streets of Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. The video, released by the U.S. Embassy to Vietnam's Facebook page, has been viewed and shared thousands of times. Lunar New Year celebrations, which took place across Vietnam, was likely more muted than previous years, following the detection of a new cluster of COVID-19 cases across several northern provinces. The Lunar New Year or Tết holiday is considered the biggest celebration of the year in Vietnamese culture.
Spread the joy, chúc mừng năm mới khắp mọi nơi. Tết, Tết, Tết đến rồi.
Ambassador Lê Thị Tuyết Mai, head of the permanent mission of Vietnam to the United Nations, the World Trade Organization (WTO), and other international organizations, has affirmed that Vietnam, together with ASEAN member states and other WTO members, support and congratulate Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala on her election as WTO General Director. Addressing a special session of the WTO General Council held online on February 15th, Ambassador Mai stressed that Vietnam worked closely with Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala and believed that she has enough qualifications to help WTO through present challenges and achieve targets of the multilateral trade system. At the event, Okonjo-Iweala expressed her hope to work with member states to shape and carry out necessary policies to reboot the global economy, which has been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. When taking office as the 7th WTO General Director on March 1st, Okonjo-Iweala will become the first woman and the first African to be elected as a WTO leader. She used to serve as Finance Minister of Nigeria and former Managing Director of the World Bank. As chair of the Global Vaccine Alliance, she is also a global financial expert, an economist, and an expert on international development with over 30 years of working experience across the world. Now, God of Wealth Day on the 10th day of the Lunar New Year of February 21st this year will still be celebrated, but no one will be queuing up to buy gold, according to experts. Given the latest outbreak of COVID-19, gold and jewelry firms, including major businesses like Doji and P&J, have stepped up online sales with various promotional programs in place. According to the legend, the God of Wealth returned to heaven on the 10th day of the first lunar month, so people traditionally buy gold on that day to ensure good luck and prosperity throughout the year. In recent years, people have queued up from 3 or 4 a.m. to buy their lucky gold. Together with ordinary gold items for sale include charm bracelets made from 24K and 18K gold. Those in the shape of animals are also popular. You're watching FBNC News. Vietnam is among top 3 nations leading the shift to renewable energy in Asia Pacific, according to the latest research from IHS Markit. According to the IHS Markit's Renewable Additions Index, Australia leads the index with 89% of capacity under construction being either wind, solar or biomass power, followed by Japan. The third place in the region is taken by Vietnam, which leads emerging markets as the country promoted feed-in tariffs to attract investment in solar and wind power. The index showed that around a third of the power projects being built, or about 80 gigawatts, are set to generate wind, solar, hydro, and other types of renewable power across 16 key regional markets. The ranking shows that income level is not the sole determinant in a country's willingness to pursue clean energy. Renewable energy is no longer a rich nation luxury as its cost continues to decline. Vietnam posted an estimated trade surplus of $1.3 billion in January, according to a report recently announced by the Ministry of Industry and Trade. Of the figure, the domestic economic sector posted a deficit of $1.8 billion, while the foreign invested sector, inclusive of crude oil, ran a surplus of $3.1 billion. The statistics showed that Vietnam's industrial production and export was still driven by the FDI sector, which accounted for some 70% of the country's total exports. The MOIT reported that the index of industrial production in January rose 22.2% year-on-year, with a 27.2% growth. Manufacturing and processing sector contributed 21.6 percentage points to the country's common growth. Export of processed industrial goods was estimated at $23.9 million during the month, up 1% from December and 54.5% from 1 year ago. Mobile phones and accessories remained the biggest currency earner with $5.8 billion, up 25.9% from December. Ministry of Industry and Trade Trần Tuấn Anh said the country has developed a number of key industries such as mining, oil and gas processing, electronics, telecommunications, information technology, metallurgy, iron and steel, apparel and footwear, which has laid an important foundation for long-term growth as well as the country's modernization and industrialization. In the near future, the MOIT will tap opportunities from trade agreements to enter new markets and boost exports following the pandemic. According to experts, Vietnam's digital economy possesses strengths in human resources and government support, so the country could create a dynamic wave to further strengthen the development of its digital economy to reach $43 billion by 2025. A study by the Institute of Global Leadership under the US-based Tufts University revealed that Vietnam ranks 48th out of 60 countries and territories globally in terms of rapidly switching to a digital economy and 22nd in digitization development. In the last 5 years, with the boom of smartphones, the internet and social networks, digital technology and digital transformation have developed rapidly in Vietnam, shaping a flourishing, dynamic digital economy with great potential. Vietnam's digital economy is made up of 4 main groups, including e-commerce, online tourism, digital communications, and logistics technology. The country, together with Indonesia, holds the lead in digital economy growth in Southeast Asia. Another study by Australia's Data 61 forecasts that Vietnam's GDP may add an additional $162 billion in 20 years if the country's digital transformation is successful. The country also aims to raise the proportion of the digital economy in national GDP to 30% and boost productivity by 7.5% annually on average. Other targets is to achieve universal access to fiber optic internet and 5G services, completing of digital government development and the establishment of smart cities in key economic zones across the North, the Central and Southeast regions, and connection with regional and global networks of smart cities. Head coach of the national men's football team Park Hang-seo has affirmed his determination to help the squad obtain good achievements at the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualification. He made the pledge during talks with Minister of Culture, Sports and Tourism Nguyễn as the latter visited and extended Tết Lunar New Year greetings to the Vietnam Football Federation (VFF) on February 18th. The Korean coach added that various important tasks remain ahead for Vietnam's football in this year, which he referred to as challenges. He vowed to exert every effort to fulfill targets with the Vietnamese team. According to the latest announcement, 3 remaining fixtures of Vietnam in Group G of the second round of the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualification are slated for June 3rd to 15th in centralized venues due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Vietnam currently topped the group with 11 points, followed by Malaysia with 9 and Thailand with 8. The United Arab Emirates ranked 4th with 6 points, while Indonesia have yet to score any. This has come to an end of FBNC News this week. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.